everybody, I am Liz, and today I was going to bring you the Scotland vlog, but I haven't had time to edit it yet. So instead we're going to do a quick tag that's been around BookTube for a very, very long time. I'm pretty sure I did this tag last year. It's the mid-year book freak out tag. It was created way well back in like 2012 by Chammy, whose former channel was called Read Like Wildfire, but it's since changed to like a beauty type channel. And then also Eli from Earl Grey Books, who still does book videos. And I'll link all the channels and everything in the description below if you want to go check them out. Let's get right to the questions. The first one says, what is the best book you've read so far in 2019? For that, we have Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. Seriously, one of the best books I've read in a long time. I read it in one sitting on the flight home from Scotland. It was just such an eye-opening historical fiction about what World War II was like for those on the Soviet side, particularly those being conquered by the Soviet Union through Stalin's regime. It was intense. I learned a lot, and it prompted me to do some research on my own and look further into this devastating historical phenomena that people don't talk about, especially in America, because we are so focused on Germany's conquering and the Holocaust. And so it was very eye-opening for me. And so I love this book so much, not just because of the subject matter and how much I knew I needed to learn more after reading this book, but also because the writing, the story, everything was beautiful and flawless. 2 was the best sequel I've read so far in 2019. I've only read 2 sequels, and so it was pretty easy for a 50-50 choice. And so I chose Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the conclusion of the duology of the Monsters of Verity series, and I felt like it was a very fitting, very great conclusion to this kind of Romeo and Juliet monster story, and I enjoyed it so much. The third category is the new release you haven't read yet but want to, and that is Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is a new space adventure that they've created in actual novel format. I'm so excited. I really want to read this. So I plan on reading it for the final Bibliothon, as it is the group book. So I should be getting to this within the next few days. The fourth category is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And for that, I chose The Weight of a Soul by Elizabeth Tammy. It just sounds so amazing. It's kind of gives me Sadie vibes, but it's also set in Viking mythology and Norse mythology, and it just sounds so great. The fifth category was your biggest disappointment of this year, and that was definitely The Female Man by Joanna Russ. I honestly forgot I read it this year because February feels like so long ago, and it was preached as this amazing feminist sci-fi book, and it felt like a man-hating book, and I didn't like it, and I just didn't like it. It was bad and confusing. I had no idea what was going on half the time. The sixth question was your biggest surprise. And for that, I chose The Storyteller by Tracy Chee. This is the finale, third book in the Reader trilogy. It blew me away, and it is categorized as one of my favorite trilogy books of a series, or third book of a series, and 2, my best and most favorite conclusion of a series. I felt like it was so fitting. It blew my mind how everything was wrapped together and ended and concluded, and I really can't say anything but the fondest of praise for this story. 7 is my favorite new to me author, whether it's debut or new to me, and so for that I am going back to Ruta Sepetys because I haven't read any of her books but this one, Between Shades of Grey, and that is definitely going to change. I am definitely going to read her other works. She is an amazing author. The 8th question or category is my newest fictional crush. And I might be weird, I might be a minority here, but I don't crush on book characters. I'm just so invested in their journey with their other love interests and their characters that I don't ever really crush on them. So I don't have a new fictional crush this year at the moment. Maybe it'll change, but I don't think it will. 9 is my newest favorite character, and for that we have Sadie in Courtney Summers' book called Sadie because she is a badass woman character. She is just so resourceful and she is determined to bring her own form of revenge and justice on her little sister Maddie's killer, and it was just, I love Sadie. The category of 10 is the book that made you cry, and I had a lot of tearjerker books. I cried a lot this year while reading. Many of my books had very intense, very difficult subject matter, but for that I picked A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara just because this book shook me and devastated me and made me sob. I had to put it down physically because of some of the content in this book, and so it definitely hits on the book that made me cry the most out of all the other books that made me cry. 11, On a Happier Note, was a book that made me happy. And for that, I picked Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now, like I've said, I've read a lot of really, really sad books this year. This one is definitely very sad. It's the first time Harry really is exposed to death and tragedy and hardships. But at the same time, Harry's sass with the Dursleys in the first 5 chapters of this book was amazing. I had missed and had forgotten how sassy and how difficult and troublesome and stubborn Harry is, and so reading this book really brought a lot of joy into my life, even though the last chapters are very much so more devastating. The 12th question is the most beautiful book you bought so far this year or you received, and that is an excellent question. I really tried to narrow it down and found that it's really impossible because I feel like a lot of books I bought this year have really stunning, beautiful covers. I'm gonna show a biased and then a less biased pick. My biased pick is my copy of the 20th anniversary edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone because it is Ravenclaw. It's my Hogwarts house. It has these sprayed edges and it's beautiful. So there we go. There's my biased choice answer for this. And then my unbiased choice answer is The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth. This was released last year. I haven't read it yet. It is on my list of books to read this year as soon as I can get to it. But the cover is just stunning. It's breathtaking. It's beautiful. All the lavender and silver and white, gray, like mesh up of colors with the wording. It just looks so beautiful. And the 13th, last category is what books do you need to read by the end of this year? I have already displayed a few books that I need to read by the end of this year, along with my very lengthy TBR video that I posted a few days ago. Now I have another book that I need to read by the end of this year, which is The Cold is in Her Bones by Petronelle van Arsdale. This just sounds like such an amazing tale. I've heard a lot of little snippets about clips and things about retellings in the story, and it just sounds so good when it comes to really like family and village relations and community, even when your village is cursed by a demon possessing a woman at night. It sounds very interesting, and I need to read it. So there we have the mid-year book freak out of 2019. I'm so thrilled, so excited for the second half of the year and to continue on this book reading and booktube journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the Bibliothon mayhem that is just around the corner, and I hope to see your guys' faces again next time. So until then, please remember to like this video if you liked it, subscribe, you know, do the thing, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I post, which is every Tuesday and Friday until the Bibliothon starts Thursday, where you'll get 9 videos from me. Stay tuned. So until next time, remember I love you guys. Bye!